All right, guys, I'm coming back with another trade recap. I know it's been a couple of days since the last trade recap. I have taken a couple of trades since then. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to make um, trade recap videos on them. I did trade SPY puts, which was a winning trade. I took Robinhood calls last week, I believe. Took a small loss there, among other smaller trades. But finally got some time on my hands, and now I want to do a trade recap on this snap short that we took on Monday uh, near the open for a kind of a day trade, but more like a scalp, considering I was only in it. Well, no, I guess it was kind of like a day trade because it was a 50-minute long trade that netted us $630. So a great way to start Monday. And in this video, I just want to cover the main thing that I saw um, to take this short and why it worked out so well. So um, I know some of you guys have seen some of the previous trade recaps that I've done with Snap. So we know that Snap's been in a range for a long time. We finally got this all-time high breakout, but it quickly turned over with the current market conditions being pretty bearish. So uh, with this leg down, uh, there's probably a lot of people that got trapped trying to get that all-time high. A lot of people that locked in their profits, which created all the selling pressure. Especially with the market selling off recently. It was no surprise that spot snap came back into this trading range. So um, there was one thing that stood out the most during this trade or before I took the trade, and it was this head and shoulders pattern that is on a 30-day, 30-minute, which I will show to you. And this was actually similar to the MRNA trade that I took, which I think I did a recap on. But simply, this is what I was looking at. So we get this move up, it pulls back, it comes up, comes down, and then I had it on watch um, Friday at the close. So I put it on my watch list for Monday morning simply because I felt like one, I took this as a failed breakout, so probably a lot of people underwater. This was a very, very impulsive move, so I was looking for maybe a continuation down, potentially even below 70 to fill the gap from the earnings report. Um, so I had it on my radar as of Friday, last Friday on the close, and I was looking for a completion of the right shoulder. So this component right here, this is what I was looking for. I was looking for a move down, uh, is what I was looking for. So I'll turn that to a yellow just so we can distinguish it. So this is kind of what I was picturing would happen sometime this week, last Friday, right? And so that would complete basically, here's your left shoulder, and then your head, and then your right shoulder, right? So the 72, 73 zone has been really strong. Buyers have been showing up there pretty consistently. But just because I felt like, this short was really aligned with the current market conditions and there's a solid pattern behind it, I felt like it could work out. So come Monday at the open, we can see that, dude, Snap just, it broke down pretty quickly. So let's take a look at it. Yeah, I guess the 5 minutes. So let's look at it on the 5 minute. Dun dun. It has a really strong opening drive down. And because we've traded Snap previously, we're pretty familiar with how it trades. It's pretty unidirectional. So once it picks a direction, it's going to follow that direction for the most part. So that's just becoming familiar with the stock. We entered with 5 puts we entered with 5 puts at around 6:41 a.m. So right here, we kind of did chase a little bit, 6:41, and the reason why I did chase a little bit was because I had forgot to actually well, it was on my watch list in my head, but I forgot to physically add it onto my watch list on this end, and then I remembered the setup, so I was like, ooh, oh shoot, snap. So we added 5 of the 70 strike puts expiring next week, October 15th, at 641. So ends up pulling back, and then I added another 5 of those puts at 704. So roughly right here, somewhere around there. So basically added right here around the 72 mark. And knowing that the ATR on Snap is about, on the high end, about 4 to 6 points. And because the initial move was very strong, I was anticipating that we could max out the ATR, which we did. So it was good. So let's take a look at the, I guess the initial investment, the revenue earned, and the profit. So you can see here that we bought we bought 5 of them at 165 for 825. Then we added another 5 at 196. That's 980. So initial investment was 1805, and we ended up selling them. We sold 7 at 245, and then another 3 at 240. So initial investment was 1805. We sold them all for 2435 for a net profit of $630 in 50 minutes. And yeah, that's all there was to this trade. Basically, recognizing that it was a failed breakout on the daily, recognizing that the overall market was weak, and that this was setting up for a short. I also used this momentum that we had from the previous week to kind of solidify the trade idea. When you're coming in with this amount of momentum, it's very unlikely that you're going to surge back up towards these highs, just because a lot of people are uncertain, probably people underwater. There's a lot of panic. So this is actually a good 2-day pullback. That's a traditional short that I like to take, is a strong leg down or up, 2 days of pullback, and then on that third day you short for a continuation, or you go long. So this essentially would have been the pullback or the dip for a long. I also felt confident in this setup because it was similar to the mRNA trade that I took earlier this week, which was right here. And you can see that, where is that? Anyhow, it's sort of, let's see, 30-day, 30-minute mRNA. Take a look at it. Dun, dun. Oh, here we go. So mRNA, you can see it makes a move up, pulls back, dun, dun, goes up, pulls back, and then right here pulls back a little bit before it gives that nasty drop, right? So you can see the pattern right there. It's a left shoulder, there's your head, and then there's your right shoulder for that continuation down. This move was kind of crazy, but this was news based, so a little bit different than Snap. Snap didn't have a negative news catalyst, which is why we locked in those profits and did not try to get that gap fill below basically 69. Would it have been nice? Yes, but it's very unlikely, simply because we've got earnings coming up and the market is starting to kind of bounce. So very unlikely that this gap to 63 is going to get filled anytime soon. In fact, this is a reversal pattern. Tomorrow I expect Snap to have a green day. That is I think they call it like a harami or something like that. So expect maybe a nice big green candle back to like this mean price. That's also known as mean reversion. So maybe look for a big green day for Snap, maybe up to like the 76, 77 mark, especially as earnings start approaching. So yeah, guys, that is the trade recap for Snap. A few other short confirmations that we used was that we had bearish momentum from the previous week. We had sort of like a spike in volume, which was on these days right here. You can see down below. When you want to see, when you're expecting a move down, you definitely want to see rising volume, just because that's the introduction of supply into the ticker. When you have an overwhelming amount of supply in the stock, it literally overwhelms price and brings it down. So that was another thing. And then we had a topping tail on the previous month. So let's take a look at that topping tail. let's take a look at it. Look at that. A huge topping tail. I mean, we're coming in with bearish momentum to begin the month. A great time to short it at the beginning of the month. So that's your huge bearish momentum. Like, nobody's going to try to dip by this this early into the month. You know, they're going to try to let it fall before trying to, you know, catch the bottom or whatever. So I hope you guys found this video insightful, but this is how we trade. We trade with patterns, sentiment, alignment with the overall market, and we manage the trades, and that's all there is to it. So thank you guys, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.